Alright, what's going on, guys? Chili Games back again in a video with the Bismarck, and this is probably this is hands down my best game, the Bismarck. A lot of secondary hits and a lot of destruction, and a very close game. It was very exciting till the very end, and I can't wait to I can't stop thinking about what's coming up in a handful of minutes, so you're going to want to stick around. Like always, guys, I appreciate y'all and the support. I've gone through many times with this channel where I haven't been able to post as much or whatever, and you guys are always just right there being super supportive and on the streams and, chatting it up. And, to me, that means everything, and I can't thank you guys enough. Being able to turn on a stream or whatever and, just have you guys say hello, it's just awesome. So I appreciate you guys. We are, I think, 2,100, 2,150 subscribers. We are going to make a push for 2,500. So if you do like the content and you want other people to like the content, share it out. Like the video, it helps me out a lot. So what is this video? Basically, I'm in a division with Sir Biggles, who is in the Gascogne, and his captain. I'm with Cap here in a DD. I forget. Enemy Fletcher. Is he in a Z23? I can't remember. Yeah, he's in our Cap is in a Z23. So, anyways, coming this side because, like most of the time, if you spawn in the middle, I can't really push in here to B because obviously there's a Fletcher there, and sometimes that can get flooded with crossfires. So pushing into B is a no-go. Going all the way over towards C to me is somewhat of a waste of time, especially since I spawned in the middle. Usually what happens on this match is A side gets flooded by 6 ships, so in every class except for DD, I usually go ahead and start making my way towards, this kind of position here and try to squeak into A if I can. The reason why I stopped there is because I know it's Jakers on the other team. He's in the Fletcher. He is not running twist and track, which means that he is actually running probably Gleaves, so a torpedo build. So I was anxious to cross this section here because I wanted to get by, but it's also a prime place for torpedoes to come through. And I knew he didn't have twist and track because Cap in the Z23 was telling me I'm not located, so he doesn't have twist and track. So that was a huge call out there. There he is, decides to shoot. We actually get some pretty decent hits on him. I pop the consumable for secondaries to get, something going. We don't get much, but any amount of damage against the DD at any point in time is huge. And he actually takes some pretty good shots, and our King George is just pushed straight through the middle here. Unfortunately, King George pushing like that kind of let our C cap get overrun pretty quickly. Again, taking a blind shot here. The odds of that shot hitting are very low, but I have no other targets to shoot at, and I would rather overpin a destroyer for 1,000 damage than, ricochet off a Lennon or whatever and do nothing. So even if you don't think you can hit those kind of shots, or if the odds are, 1 in 100 as I drop my controller. Has that ever happened to you guys? You have the controller plugged in or whatever, and you drop the controller and it just yanks the earpiece in your ear. And you get suplexed by your own, mic setup here. Oh, man. Anyways, Fletcher goes down. Going back to the 3,500 damage that I did to him, that's how things stack up against destroyers. You get a couple shots in, that can mean 2 engagements down the road. It's like, oh, if we didn't do that 3,000 damage, he would have escaped there, and this game would have been a lot more difficult. So what am I trying here? Well, actually, I didn't mean to beach here, but it was probably not the worst decision. I was trying to decide if I wanted to push between B and A to get onto the flank of the Lennon, because I realized how slow A was, going to push through, even though we do have a single battleship over there. So that A flank, in my opinion, should have been pushed through already. The battleships on the enemy team should already be pushing through that. And that's why I was like, okay, now that he's pushed through, because if I push through B right now, Both of these battleships probably get broadside shots at me, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to have to go back up this Bismarck. And this is why I play this flank, because almost always these flanks get taken out very, very quickly, especially on this map. I don't understand how some of these spawns are still in the game, especially at high tiers. They just don't make sense to me, and it forces a lot of players into the same predictable paths and offers up no variety in terms of gameplay. It's basically the spawns put you in just a collision course with each other, and it's like, okay, play for it, and then it's just like, okay, doesn't really work like that. It's basically, some of these spawns want you to play checkers and just go forward and smash each other, when in reality this game is very much like chess. It is very complex. There's different moves, there's different classes, there's different abilities. So I just think that the spawns rob this game a little bit in terms of like strategy or whatever. Moving on from that, Biggles is in the back there trying to help out with C spawn, because Captain is in B cap, and you realize there's a full health lightning. He was already saying that full health lightning, and we were just like, what did our spawn do over there? Like, did they even touch anybody over there? So they're having to deal with that spawn and the middle spawn as well. I'm definitely not looking forward to pushing into a Lenin and a Bismarck that's bowing, but I'm also not looking forward to pushing into a Nagato, Azuma, and an Iowa. And this dead Bismarck here actually really hurts me here, because it makes me have to take this turn wide. But I want to get into this cap, contesting it, and in their throats, honestly, as quick as possible, because I don't want the Lenin to get shots at my broadside, even though he can't citadel me. I don't want to lose 16,000, 20,000 HP due to nothing. And I look over here and I realize, like, oh, this is pretty close. Like, they could shoot me if they wanted to. Luckily, we push this gap as soon as possible, and we get lucky, and they are still going towards that King George in the middle. Nice little citadel hit on the Azuma. The Bismarck's guns definitely are a little bit more controllable, even though, you know, I don't play Bismarck to have really good main guns. I play it for secondaries, really, and just a different experience, but they are a little bit more manageable, which is, I guess, okay. This, ladies and gentlemen, is where the game turns itself around. We are down 3 ships to 6. This is looking absolutely terrible. I'm out of fire from B, so Lenin and the Bismarck are unable to shoot me. All I have to do here is line up against this Iowa and this Nagato, because basically they're presenting me the same angle, so I can angle towards both of them while staying bow in to, honestly, just one of them. So, coming for the drive-by here, his back turret doesn't work, but our turrets. 5 Citadels, Devastating Strike. I think that was around 68,000 health. He had absolutely very close to full health. And I realized that, okay, that was fun. That in itself made the game worth it, even if we lost. And I was like, man, what is my luck like today? The Nagato showing the same exact play. That is going to be a double drive-by, double devastating strike. No double strike there, obviously, because our reload is way too long. But that was some of the most fun that I have had in a battleship in a very, very long time. And obviously it has to come with the Bismarck, a ship that I don't play very, very often. I do play Bismarck as a battleship more than other BBs at Tier 7, to be honest. Mostly because when you do have a good game like this, it's like, oh, that was in a Bismarck. Like, then you can just kind of tell yourself, like, oh, imagine what I could have done if I was in not a Bismarck. But Bismarck for in itself is fine. I do like playing it in Division because it is a little bit easier to play. As a solo player, Bismarck is very, very hard to carry just because it is, in my opinion, not the most consistent pick. We are down to 19,000 health. At this point in time, I can't turn around because if I give broadside to any of these guys for one good shot, I lose easily 15k health and I'm dead. So honestly, at this point, we're just trying to milk my entire life. I am dead here. I am trying to go out with as much damage as possible and at least try to help, you know, somebody die in this process. Have a fire on me. Honestly, looking back at it, I'm surprised I held the damage con here, which ended up being a really good player for me. New Orleans pops around the corner. I can delete the New Orleans. I want to get this guy dead just because I feel like if this game comes down to just Biggles, he already has the Bismarck and he already has a Lennon in his sights. He does not need a cruiser farming him from an island that he cannot see. We go down to 1,000 HP. The heal comes off cooldown. We are healing. We're okay. Take another shot against the New Orleans. And unfortunately, in this game, I'm not running Leons, which would give me extra fire chance when my heal's going. And I think that would have been crucial here, but we somehow end up getting 2 perma-fires at some point. Or I think they're just fires, but makes people use damage cons. I believe we go down very, very low. I'm pretty sure we were at something like 22 health when that happened. But we do go down. We do have a perma-fire, though. And we get a flash wound fire kill on the Bismarck. Now it is up to Biggles in the end. I honestly was laughing so hard at this game. After we killed the Iowa, I was laughing, and then when I did the same thing to the Nagato, I was like, you know what? I don't care about this game if we lose. I got something out of it. I got a clip. I got something. I don't really care. Made my day. Unfortunately, you know, if we would have lived maybe 5 more seconds, we could have gotten a final shot on that New Orleans and possibly kill him, which unfortunately is going to probably hurt this last engagement. As you see, Biggles does have a fair bit of health, but we were talking and I was just like, man, it looks like I was like, I don't think this New Orleans is smart enough to actually go behind the island and stay there. And unfortunately, it looks like this New Orleans player knows how to actually use his cruiser that is very lightly armored and know how to conceal himself with islands and farm battleships. So very well played on the New Orleans part in terms of this, because every shot of damage that he is getting extra now is some that Biggles can't directly deal with because he has no eyes, and you know it's ended up being a perma-fire, and you know all this damage. If I could have killed that New Orleans, it probably would have saved Biggles here at least, you know, 25,000 HP, which in terms of a battleship HP is definitely a lot. So you know, a good cruiser player late game like this, I mean that's how it seals the deal. I don't think cruisers are as valuable as DDs late game, but cruisers late game are easily, situationally, the top game winners in my opinion, just because no one has heals, everyone's burned out, and everyone's pretty low health, so finishing off targets is somewhat easier for cruisers. He does get sighted though. Biggles takes a shot, overpins, and then actually gets him with the rear turret. It is now a 1v1. We are down on points by at least a millennium. It's not going to come down to points. The only thing that sucks is, I mean, it's well played by the Lennon. It's well played by his division mate in the Bismarck. I mean, when the game first started, you know, bow in. It's just like I can't push that. You know, I would lose so much health trying to push in and get around them. And Lennon is an absolute ungodly ship to kind of get around and actually deal with. And I was just like, man, if he was in any other ship, and we were saying this, is like if he was in anything but a Lennon, you know, because Lennon is so resilient, you know, it's just absolutely crazy. Hello, Mr. Kitty. So we come around to the last second here, and weirdly enough, he did load the HE. I mean, I can understand what he was trying to do there. If the AP is, you know, if Biggles is saturated, he does try to turn to get this third turret here. Secondaries are going. Biggles actually got his turret knocked out, so he was not reloaded, and we do not get the kill. That is super unfortunate. However, it was definitely a fun game. Definitely shows the resilience of Lennon throughout a battle, just sitting there nose in, taking damage. We end on a 2,000 base XP loss. You know, unfortunately, our C flank just folded. You know, it's kind of hard to do something like that. But we brought it back and made it somewhat competitive. And we had the double. And we had the double, almost the double strike. I'll call it a double strike in my book. So, honestly, so much fun. if I switch back to the personal here, I think I was just laughing at this point. I think we had like 180 secondary hits, so that'll do it for me in terms of secondaries. 11 citadels, which is unheard of me for a battleship. So had a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this match, and if you did like it, please like it and tell your friends if you would like to. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it from me. Y'all take it easy, and I will see y'all in the next one. Take it easy, guys. Peace.